thing. This is probably way too much even. But I feel like the light up notes, if you want to watch this back. So we start there. Let's go first into the melody, and then we'll go into other stuff. So thinking of the melody, it is the two versions we heard were very, very legato. That's how I would describe it. The violin, of course, is an extremely legato instrument, and so is the voice. When we have legato, we want to sort of give it at all times, but especially in this sort of romantic context, we want to give it life and expression through making swells and shape the melody notes. So using the ideas of Pablo Casals, I could say, all right, let me try to just go through and play. There goes my light. Play mostly legato, not entirely legato, some Luray. Go back light. Oh no, that doesn't want to do it. Okay, studio's falling apart. Okay. When the melody goes up, my volume is going to get louder. So here we start off with the octave at the very beginning. Right? And that would be a Jacques Mornay thing to do, would be to get louder and then softer again. 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm adding a little bit, just kind of a little couple extra notes here and there. Back to melody. That's also a big thing that Jack likes to do, is he'll get, as something's climbing, you will climb. But the final note is softer. So I'm thinking of bar 2, which could be just that, with just sort of, I'll call it straight bellows, meaning not trying to move the air, but just keeping it really stable. Basically all the same volume. If I made a crescendo, it is so aggressive and bold, you know, that it might not be the most romantic choice. So if I go instead louder, that has some more, I think, artistry to it. Jacques might do something like that. We'll talk about counter melodies and stuff, but sort of legato like that, and give yourself something to do with that right hand. Make some shapes with your bellows and really listen to it. Make them, calls it tension. Jacques and Natalie would call that tension and resolution, but it's very, very beautiful and not at all natural or normal for me to think about as an accordion player, for whatever reasons. Okay, so the melody, boom, ba. Repeat of the A. Maybe a little embellishment. Lots of space. Now we get a Now we have another octave, so it's sort of a very Motivic sort of a tune. Again, it's like I'm gonna go bum ba, but I'm not. I'm going bum ba. It's hipper. It's more grown up. You know, be reserved. Make them listen, as they say. So you... I'm just trying to show that, shaping it more and less. So you get a tension and a resolution in there. Okay. With the air to express on a ballad, and as an accordion player, I think this is a way to practice being gentle. For me, so hard. Easy to smash, Dallas smash, smash, smash. Lighten up your fingers and really try to make that air have a shape. So, other things that we need to make this come alive are ornamentation of the melody. It's a relatively simple intellectual process, and that needs practicing, like all things, to do spontaneously. So a lot of times we do ornamentation from below. So I'm going to call this a grace note. So I'm just putting... not on every note. Right like that. So that's a kind of ornamentation that is relatively easy to do. It doesn't mess up your fingering. So if you've taken the time to work out a fingering, and then the next step is that you go and put in your ornamentation, changes your fingering and kind of wipes you out. You gotta redo it. That's fine. Redo it, and then you're better off for the next time. So that's one kind of ornamentation that's relatively simple. It's just a half step below, and a grace note means that you hit the ornamentation note on the same place and time that you would have hit the target note, the note that is written, or that, without the ornament. Whereas other kind of ornaments come well before. Let me see if I can find. So we could do. There are various kinds of enclosures. Let's see. Let me before I get to the enclosures, let me get to more chromatic notes. So you could run a whole crazy chromatic scale. And that's literally, hopefully you can hear the target note that I'm going for, because I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm playing it in a way. Hopefully you hear that that's the note. And that this is a run. What is it? And it doesn't have to be a whole crazy long line. It's nice to do if you can do that. It's nice to do once in a while, and if you can pull it off, it kind of has a wow factor. But little smaller groups. So we started talking about one grace note. Right? We could do two. So that's just two grace notes. And it requires me, I guess you guys should see my keyboard too. I gotta think about keeping my keyboard hand in there for you. Forgot about that. Okay, there you go. All right, now you can see my keyboard hand. So I'm putting the target note, which is a B, there, and that's in my fourth finger on a piano accordion. Still a little out of frame. Let me back it up some more. There you go. Again, the A is the target, couple ornaments like that. And then you could just do more than two, more than one, more than two. You could do, or you go. It's up to your creativity. I find that when I start working on stuff, when I create sort of a method to practice these, which I have done in the past, especially when I was like really trying to learn gypsy jazz and transcribing a lot of Richard Galliano and copying him. He does this kind of enclosure, so that C, let's pretend the C is a target note that I'm going to end on. That's really the written melody note, but I'm going to start on the D, and then the E, and then the D, and then the B, and then the C. I'm not as used to the action on this accordion, so I need to lighten up my touch a little bit and give it a little bit of air to make it sound cleaner there. That's better. There, now it sounds nice. So, I don't think any of these melody notes that we've gotten to so far are